Hello. This video is recorded directly after the essence of headphones because I kind of alluded to some of the takeaways that I really want you guys to have when you're thinking about headphone choice. Even though these are vintages, the designs have not changed. So, notably, we're just going to keep a few of these headphones here and we're going to talk about them. And we're talking about them in the context again of why they were possibly designed this way. And what do I mean by this way? Well, designed to be either semi-open, open back, or closed. Every headphone has their own truth. And just like I've talked about previously, with hopefully with a lot of vigor, they all have a very interesting fact about them that sadly may or may not make them your next purchase. Now, when you're thinking about the types of headphones that are out there, it's really important to think about what you're using them for. Now, hear me out. What I say isn't the Bible, and you can actually use open backs for reference mixing and mastering, and you can use closed backs for enjoyment of sound. I mean, that's just how headphones are. It's whatever you like and whatever you want. But for the context of CGSW, you may want to be a little bit safe with the kind of choice you make, especially during these times. And the only reason why I thought it was important to make like the microphone video or the headphone video was just strictly because these are known and true brands, and not only that, they are the most common. So if you end up buying a microphone, you're most likely going to compare this microphone to the one that's at the studio or the one that's in CGSW, the Shure SM7B. And the same thing for headphones. We do actually have a few workstations that have the 770, so if you ever get the chance to, give a listen to the 770, use it as a reference, and give a listen if you can demo headphones before you buy them. Give a listen to the headphones you plan on buying, and then give a listen back to the 770s and see if that is very close. This, for me, would be a reference of what a closed back should sound like. And then for semi-opens, I actually wouldn't use the 880s. I would use something like an AKG. It could be any kind of AKG. And I kind of forgot to mention their new brother, the AKG K240 Studio. AKG has not stopped making headphones, just like how Beyerdynamic hasn't stopped and how Sony hasn't stopped. You can buy the K240 Studio for very, very cheap on Amazon, or maybe used for a lot more cheaper. So just know that you have a lot of options here. But we're again talking not about the brands, but specifically the designs. Closebacks are very detrimental for recordings. I'm actually making a recording sin right now because I'm using semi-open headphones. Closed-back headphones are able to isolate very well and keep all the sound in. So if you ever need to do a recording, especially in a booth or in the closet, guess what sound is actually going to be picked up right underneath your voice? It's going to be the echo of your voice, because sometimes headphones that are semi-open, and especially headphones that are fully open, like the DT990, they bleed sound so much that you may think, no, there's no way the microphone's going to be able to pick this up. But actually, you'd be surprised at how sensitive a microphone is, whether or not you give it a lot of gain or a little bit. So being careful and bringing only a closed back into the recording booth is going to be kind of important. Not unless you want to really dial down the volume for your headphones. Semi-opens. Now, these kind of bridge the gap between open backs and closed backs. And I would say with full confidence, a semi-open headphone can be kind of used for doing a recording. It kind of can. And I'm not gonna lie, I do it all the time. I also live stream with these. And in a future video, which I'll cover for microphone technique, there's a reason why semi-opens you can kind of get away with it. Just kind of. But these are typically going to be super duper good for post-production. Like That's typically what these were designed for, if I were to be really honest with you. Or for the engineer. He'll be able to listen in on the sound that's being recorded, and then he can just easily turn down the volume just a little bit, and then he can listen to what the actual artist sounds like. Or in our case, an engineer will be able to listen to how you sound like on the program. And if he needs to make a choice, or if they need to make a choice, it'll be super duper easy because with a little switch of a knob, oh, I can hear you. Yeah, and then I can switch back and, oh, that's what you sound like on the recording. I should make these changes. Then we have the open backs. Open backs typically are going to be used for one of two things. If it isn't the enjoyment of sound, it's going to be only strictly used for, I want to say reference listening and mixing and mastering, but you have to be super duper cautious. Typically, open back headphones are not very analytical. Analytical listening headphones will typically be either semi-open or closed back, like the 770s, or again, semi-open like the K240s. So you have to be very, very cautious about that. Do some homework. Make sure you watch reviews. Make sure you read the reviews. Sample them if you can. That's a very big thing, is auditioning headphones. You can walk into a studio, and I know that we have 770s there, so you can ask like, hey, can I test out these 770s real quick just to give a listen? You can also maybe ask a friend who's probably owned them before, be like, oh, can I give a listen to this? I may plan on buying one. So if you have some friends that are really into audio, it doesn't hurt to just ask them for just 5 minutes of listening to your favorite song or to your favorite podcast and hearing, okay, that's cool. I think I will like the DFs. You know what? I'll probably have to look out for those if they ever show up on eBay. Or, you know what? The tried and tested and true 770s are going to be the choice for me. And I think I just like the way they sound. So I might just save up for buying a brand new pair of them. Or, legit, don't use open backs for recordings. But if you end up liking open backs, use these definitely for when you're trying to enjoy the piece or when you're trying to master them. But again, these are not really analytical typically. Semi-opens tend to be analytical, and closed backs almost all the time there's going to be an analytical closed back version because of that isolation, being able to not let sound through, which is the weaknesses of any kind of open back headphone, semi-open or fully open. These will let sound in. So if you completely turn off your music, completely turn off what you're trying to edit, the 990s will just let sound through like it's no tomorrow. And the same thing for these AKGs. I can actually hear at the moment the fan running underneath my desk from my computer, even though on my for my live monitoring I have the knob for my headphones pretty high. It's around 3 o'clock. So yeah, you have to be very cautious with the headphone choice that you make, and again in its context. So just know, it ain't Bible, but typically analytical and for fun. Typically more for fun, but sometimes analytical. And closed backs, analytical most likely. Analytical most likely. So do some research, do some homework, fall in love with headphones and audio today. And hopefully you'll make the really, really good choice that will help you enjoy it even more. Take care.